Today's episode is sponsored by Dynasty Athletic Performance and NC Football Connections. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the All Season 365 podcast. Be sure to follow us on X, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify channel, and now Apple podcast channels. Our ultimate goal here is to connect with as many coaches as possible, not just here in North Carolina, but across the country. Today, we have a special guest. We have Coach Henry Banks II, special teams coordinator at Webster Groves High School in Webster Groves, Missouri. What's up, Coach? How are you?
I'm doing well, Coach. I can't complain at all. I'm blessed.
Man, appreciate it. And for those who don't know, our coach and I, we're on two different time zones. So, we had to work through the coordination, trying to figure out the correct time. And here we are, man. So appreciate you for making time.
Oh, no. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Coach. So before we get into today's topic, which is primarily about special teams, we'll also touch on a few of Coach's experiences with the UFL, et cetera. But before we get to that, give our listeners a quick snapshot of your journey up until this point.
Man, journey. Growing up. So I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, but
Okay.
I grew up in Middletown, Ohio, and I think that's where I found my love for for football and just athletics in general. Growing up in Middletown, small town, and you play football at a real early age. So I think I started playing football like 5 years old.
Ooh.
So in this full tackle football, it was a great experience, and I think that's kind of where I shifted for my love of the game. So, and then playing high school ball, college ball, uh, high school ball in Kirkwood. And what's so funny, this is the rival school of Webster Grove. So it's kind of funny how all of that ended up happening. We have between Kirkwood and Webster Groves, we have probably one of the oldest rivalries west of the Mississippi. So that game's played every year on Thanksgiving. So y'all have to check that out. It's really big deal in the area. Played college football at Millikan University in Decatur, and then I just kind of stumbled into coaching. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's usually how it go. I mean, for example, I started off as a volunteer coach. I had no idea that I wanted to coach. I just happened to go to a practice, and my head coach said, "Hey, if you're not doing anything, help us out." And 15 years later, here I am, man. So that's just how it goes. Coaching is a calling. You just somehow end up in it, and before you know it, you start to progress.
Yeah, I agree. I know coming out of college, 2017, graduated with a sport management degree, right? And it was a tough time for recent grads during that time. So I mean, I'm applying everywhere. I just needed a job, right? So I'm applying Target, Walgreens. I'm applying everywhere. To
Yeah.
go with Star, anything. I could not get a job except for I applied to be an assistant coach. But at the time, I really didn't want to coach just because my parents were both sick. So my mom was sick and my father was sick. So I wanted to be able to go back to either St. Louis or Ohio and go be able to just go talk to them if they needed anything, just be able to be free because I know the time commitment that coaching it
Yes.
has. So, uh, and he called me in. He said, "Hey, come on, you have an interview." And I ended up getting the job. He said, "You'll be volunteer, but we can pay you."
Yeah.
Man, he told me how much he could pay me. I said, "That I'm in." I'm in because I needed a job, man. I needed some
Yeah.
income. So
Need some income, pay those bills, man.
yeah. And that was so being a recent grad, it's like, oh man, you gotta pay rent.
Yeah,
And it costs to keep
bills,
these
lights.
lights on and food. I'm like, oh. So So yeah, so that's kind of how I stumbled into coaching, and and I do feel like it was a calling, like you said, because I think all that happened for a reason.
Always.
It had to, and then I kind of also stumbled into teaching as well,
Mm,
twofold. So
mm.
um, end up going into teaching, and it's like, man, that you realize there's not a lot of people that are black around people in education. I said I'm just shocked So
Yes.
I realized it was a need for that as well.
A
So it was definitely
dire
calling.
need, absolutely dire need for that. And for those who's listening, for those who's on the ropes about getting into the teaching profession, maybe this piece of advice will push you over the top. Get your teaching license, man. I'm here to tell you right now, when it comes to that teaching, there's so many kids out here that don't get a chance to hear from positive voices and be a part of that movement. So they do listen, and you have to develop a relationship. But they do listen, man. Once they get to know who you are, and they'll perform for you. So thank you for bringing that up. So you're also an active member of the coalition. So I am. I'm a proud member. How has being a member of the National Coalition for Minority Football Coaches impact your growth as a coach?
Man, it's been great. It's been great. Just I just stumbled on the coalition on a whim one day. Just
Hmm.
I've been really trying to build just build my network, and I wanted to really just be able to meet like-minded people,
Yes.
from different parts of the country, different parts of the US. And I think I found it on LinkedIn, and
Hmm.
I just kept start researching, and I started going to the events. I know the first event I went to
Hmm.
was the Under Armour All American opportunity, and
Yes.
so it's been great.
And like Orlando.
In
Oh
Orlando,
yeah.
it was great, great.
Hmm.
So it was a professional development.
Hmm.
So like you said, that was the first thing. That was my first um, meeting with the coalition, running with the coalition, was just professional development. And
Hmm.
so it's probably 30 other coaches from all more East Coast, just because it was in
Hmm.
Florida.
Hmm.
But so just being able to learn from one of each other's, and just that fellowship part is critical, because what you realize, we're all going through the same thing.
Right, right,
Right.
right, right. We all going through the same thing. And this year I had a chance to attend, one of those PD sessions down there. Fantastic. But this year was the first year that I had a chance to go to an actual convention.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go, but a few years ago, man, I went to Orlando. I had to pay this, pay that, and there was just too much money that was leaving my account. But this year, I made it a priority since they moved it to DC to go, and I'm so glad that I went. Man, I got a chance to break bread with a lot of coaches, talk ball, but most importantly, man, build meaningful relationships. I mean, we
Mhm.
talked and shared ideas, and I like the format. So day one was more development piece, right? Like, how do you develop as a coach? But day two was more the X's and O's. So for anyone
Correct.
who's on the rope about it, I highly recommend that you check that out as well. So thank you for bringing that up. But in addition to that, talking about opportunities, and the coalition opens up a lot of opportunities for a lot of us. But you have a rare opportunity, man. For those who don't know, Coach is pretty modest about it. But Coach is he's a part, he's working as a member of the UFL. Like he's doing like some internship type stuff. So let me ask you this: how did you secure your internship opportunity with the UFL team? And what steps would you recommend for others trying to do the same thing?
Oh, always one, just build that relationship with the coalition.
Hmm.
So, and then also be ready. I know that's kind of the part that I know my mom has been a pivotal part of this for me,
Hmm.
as well as
Hmm.
my entire family.
Hmm.
But that's kind of the saying that we have is be ready. So your
Yeah.
moment is gonna come. For your moment will always come, but you just got to be ready. So
Mm,
I try to really model myself as like, hey, do I have my resume ready? Do I have my letter
mhm,
recommendations ready? Have I been building up my social media platforms there so they can kind of see what I've
mhm.
been doing? You
Yeah.
know, um, and then also just being a coalition member, being able to. Because in Orlando, that's
Mhm,
when I heard about the
mhm.
opportunity to do a
Yes.
fellowship with the
Mm,
UFL in
mhm,
Orlando, that professional
mhm,
development. So
mm,
that happened in January, February, and
mhm,
then getting the opportunity in March.
mm,
So you just got to be ready. So
mm,
um,
mm.
being able to
Very,
apply
very.
for that. Go ahead.
Hmm. Well, no. I'm saying like you bring up some great points, and all I was going to ask you is, thus far, what did you learn from your internship or fellowship that has helped you grow as a coach?
Just the professionalism. Just
Mm.
and I'll continue to say that as a coach, you realize I didn't realize people care about football as much as I did. You know, uh,
Very true. Yes.
and because that's this is really my hobby. It's
Hmm.
funny. It's my hobby. It's my passion. Is my career. Because I just love to be immersed in it. And it doesn't.
Hmm.
It can be something small like okay, how many different ways can you run power? Like and I'll just look at that. But
Hmm.
um, uh, so yeah, just continue to fellowship um and make those relationships. Yeah.
Mm. Excellent point. So let's go ahead and get to the other meat and potatoes of tonight's show, special teams play. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this. To me, in order to win a football game, you have to win at least two of the three phases. Undercoached phase is special teams. Not a lot of people put time into it, but when stuff don't go their way, they're fast to blame the kids, right? So my question is, as a special teams coach, you spend a lot
Right.
of time there. What core principles do you emphasize to build a successful special teams unit? Because there's a lot of
Okay.
moving parts.
Right. It is. It is. I know when I first started, I'll give a shout out to Manir Prince. When I first started, Manir Prince is now the cornerbacks coach at Army. Right. When I first started, he was my head coach at Webster
Nice.
Groves.
Mm.
And he said, "Hey, you next year." He just had got the head job. He said, "Next year you're gonna do special teams." I looked at him and said, "I don't know, no, I don't know no special team." So it was funny because I didn't even know I knew from special teams being a returner. Like, all right, I
Right,
can return a kick, but
right.
just the other aspect of it is like,
The
okay, where's the
blocking, the
ball even?
angles, where they're supposed to
Yeah,
go, and
yeah. But what I've learned is this is my saying is for our team is just all gas, no brakes.
there you go.
So
I love it.
it's so many times that everybody kind of just all right, I really care about defense, I really care
Mm.
about offense, but that special teams part, like a lot of cats don't work on it. So
Nah, they don't.
and this is I think where we progress is when I realized how to scaffold that
Mm.
practice.
There you
So
go.
what when we started doing, well, coach will give us 15 minutes for specials. So
Hmm.
say we have it's a punt day. The way
Hmm.
we'll break it down is we'll go Indy. So long
Hmm.
snappers and the punter will get together. They'll have their Indy for about
Mm.
4 or 5 minutes, right?
Okay.
Frontline guys will have their Indy for
Mm.
5 minutes.
Mm.
And then our right end, left end, like our gunners will have their Indy
Hmm.
4 or 5 minutes. So for
Mm.
4 or 5 minutes, they're working on that specific
That
skill,
skill. Yeah.
those
Hmm.
skills. So for punt, it's okay. I just got to make sure I have a good stance and I know my
Hmm.
blocking assignment,
Hmm.
right? So now I know that my blocking assignment. So for those 4 or 5 minutes, that's all we're working on. And
Mm.
then for another 4 or 5, right? Now we're working on the coverage part of it,
Mm. Mm. So you're putting
right?
it all together and
So right. So now you're
mm.
working on your coverage part of it, and then we'll get those right end and left ends involved. So they're going
Mm.
straight to the ball.
Mm.
And then now it's a drill we do where one whistle, right in the right guard, left guard are stacked on top of each other.
Hmm.
And then we'll blow our whistle, they're going around a cone. You get
Mm.
a second whistle that whoever's first is the person that is straight to the ball,
Mm.
right? They're stacking their inside shoulder, that inside foot on their outside shoulder straight to the
Mm.
ball. And then that other person has to be 5 by 5 off of him.
Mm. Mm.
So now we have like group going,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
We do that for 4 or 5 minutes and then we have
Mhm.
our team. It's too
Mm.
many times where we expect, okay, we got punt. All right, hey, let's go. Let's do our operation, 5 snaps,
Mhm.
and then we'll move on to the next thing. No,
Mm.
once you're able to scaffold those skills,
Yes.
and really break it down just like it's offense and defense,
Yes.
then it becomes then that's where you cooking. You cooking.
Mm.
So
Mm. And you brought up a good point because My the first year that I did it, looking back at it, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't
Right.
have a depth chart at first,
Right.
and they
Right.
took one player going down, and three of my special teams were torn to pieces. And I was like, hold up, man. So I had to go back to the drawing board, got that depth chart and that pen, right? Move kids around. But like you, I started like separating the teams into different pieces, and
Yeah.
everybody's fought because if all you do is work on the bigger picture, you're gonna miss out on a lot of important details. But
Hmm.
by scaffolding, right, by separating, like you just said, you have coaches, coaches' eyes on just this piece, coaches' eyes on this piece, and in
Yeah.
this piece. And then when you put it together, the picture is going to be a lot clearer. So you brought up a good point. So what do you look for when selecting players for key special team roles? For example, on kickoff teams, my opinion, you got to have your dogs on your cover teams, dog. Like
Hmm.
the best 11, man. Because as you know, them big time returns can kill the momentum. But talk a little bit about your selecting key players for key roles on special teams.
So for everybody, I think it just is different depending on the views of the head coach,
Ah, yes, okay.
right? So it all starts on if we're a little light, right? We're a little light on our top players. Sometimes those guys are key players. So say your dog, like to your point, your dogs are your running back, your top receiver, your top safety, and your top corner. All right, we gonna have to figure out a way, and they're starting on both offense and defense.
Oh,
We're gonna have to figure out a way to maybe
yeah,
get
that's tough.
those guys
Mhm.
off of there,
Yeah,
right?
have to. Yeah. Mm.
So it just depends on the views of the head coach. I think it
Hmm.
depends on the team
Hmm.
you have. So if you can put your dogs on there, I know our first year, my very first year doing special teams, I was able to put everybody on there. Whoever
Yeah.
we wanted, able to go on there.
Hmm.
But as time progressed, depending on the year, some of those
Hmm.
guys have to come off of there. So
Yeah.
then you kind of get creative. You got to get
Hmm.
creative. All right, are we skying it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and we'll take it, them getting the ball at the 30. Okay, that's
Hmm.
fine.
Hmm.
Are we squibbing it and really
Hmm.
are we kicking it
Yep.
to kind of maybe they got a tight end out there that maybe he's
Hmm.
not used to handling the ball? Let's go ahead and kick it to him,
Hmm.
and maybe they get it at the 35. And then after all, they are high school students, student
Yes.
athletes, so they can, mess up a little bit too. So we it just depends on 'cause it's quite a few factors that go into it. So,
Nicely
but
stated
in a
on that.
perfect world, if you can put your guys that are bullets, those
Yep.
type of guys that are,
Right.
hey, I'm running down, running through everything, going to make that tackle. Yes, perfect world. Let's go ahead and do it. And then also, you got to have some of your savvy guys,
Mm,
right? Those guys that know how to fit up on, okay, the X went down there. He's
mm,
speed bully, right? Two gap, right? We
mm,
use all kind of the same terms.
mhm,
And all right, I did my job. I made it bounce. So now those second level guys are able to rally to the ball, leverage that ball, and go ahead and get that guy down.
mm,
So it's important in the beauty of special teams. Everybody has kind of a different skill set. You have your kicker, you got your two contained guys on kickoff. Those guys are more of your speed guys, more finesse guys, right? Make sure they have to know, hey, rule of 21, I got to keep everything on my inside shoulder,
mm,
right? So that's the beauty of it.
mm, very fine detail. Well, Coach, before I let you
And
go,
then, coach, I'm sorry, coach, I
you
might
go.
have lost you on the connection on value.
Oh, you do you have me now? Yeah, do you have me now? Can you hear me?
I can't.
You can't hear me. Uh, what about now? All right, so Coach, before I let you go, what advice would you give a coach who wants to advance their coaching career?
That's a great question. I I would honestly say one, just focus on yourself.
I like it.
I wouldn't focus on anything else. Am I an expert? in my realm, right? Am I
Mm,
an expert? So if I'm a really good quarterback guy, do I know everything I could possibly know about quarterback play?
mm,
That's the first and foremost,
mm,
right? And then also I will work on, am I living right? Right?
there
Am
you go.
I am I living right?
Mm,
So that's another thing because all if you're not if maybe I'm an expert at quarterback play, but I'm not living right, it's not gonna work. It's still not gonna work
true. That's
regardless.
true. That's true.
Um, and then also
Mm,
network because
mm,
it's you need people to know you. It's no like somebody has to hire you unless you starting your own team. Somebody has to hire you. And then like I said, back to living right. Are you trustworthy? You know,
mm,
are you a trustworthy person?
mm,
So because a lot of the head coaches is trusting you to be able to do a job,
mm,
right? So you have to be able to be trustworthy. So
mm. Excellent feedback. And for any coaches that's listening, make sure that you take notes to what coach just said because he was literally preaching the gospel. Well, thank you for listening to the Offseason 365 podcast. I'm Coach Simmons here with Coach Banks II. Man, we signing off.
appreciate you.
Today's episode is sponsored by Dynasty Athletic Performance and NC Football Connections.